Welcome to Slayerfest 98. I'm Ian Carlos Crawford.
I'm Xana.
I'm Alastair Patton Garcia.
And I'm Jamie Jirak, and today we are talking Angel, Season 4, Episode 22, Home.
This is our season finale, and it is one of the few Buffyverse season finales that kind of just sets up. It's like a more of an epilogue than anything else, which, I don't know, I'm curious. Jamie, I need you to talk about why I had you on for specifically this one.
If the listeners don't know by now, because I think I say it every time I'm here, is that Angel Season 5 is my favorite season of television. I love it deeply in my heart of hearts. And so and like when you asked me to be a part of Season 4, it felt like it was just so I could earn Season 5. Like, I think we're all happy to be done with Season 4. And it was worth it because we got Season 5 coming, and I'm so ready.
What did you think of this episode, just like overall?
This episode I have like mixed feelings on because I like the way they set everything up. I think it's cool. I like that we get one last bit of Lilah. It really bothers me that the office is so different. The whole point of this episode is to give a tour of something we never see again.
Yes.
But I like all the character moves. The domestic terrorist Connor is so stupid, but like it's the last time we ever have to be bothered with him being stupid. So I'm like, I just soak it in. Poor Charisma. It's just sleeping on the floor with a bomb strapped to her. Like there are things about this that are so frustrating, but at least
easiest paycheck for her though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
If we want to look at the silver lining, she got to sleep for a job. So
True, I wouldn't mind that. It'd be like, just lay down. You get paid. All right. Great. I can do that.
Charisma, we need to do that again. You're not sleeping hard enough. Thank you.
Xana, what did you think of this episode, revisiting it for this?
What a waste of everybody's time. This could have just been the super cut to open season 5. Like if they ended the last episode with the beginning of just like the whole Lilah section at the hotel and then ended season 4 there. And then we had the whole like in real time waiting for whatever their decision was. And then we open up with season 5, how it opens up, obviously with everything that happens. I feel like that would have been more streamlined. It does like a lot. We'll get into it. There's just a bunch of things that happen in this episode that I'm like, girl, wrap it up. We're good. We're good. Like there are obviously positives. Like we get a whole bunch more Lilah, which I love seeing her in the show. And I think like we could have utilized her more. I feel like they're just kind of playing in our face with how much like we're getting this real good insight into Wolfram and Hart, but then they keep pulling us away to do something else. And I'm like, no, let's just focus on the thing that we're doing, please. So yeah, it's kind of for a finale in the Buffy Angelverse. This is like one of probably like the weakest out of any of them. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of this one, but hey.
That's totally fair. Alistair, what did you think revisiting this?
I didn't really think of it as a finale, more as a setup, and I think that if I had been watching this, as it was coming out, it would have made me very excited for the next season.
I do remember that being the case when I watched it. I remember being like, oh, okay.
Because I think it's a good setup, and to me, it feels like the writers knew that this season was, season 4 was trash, and they're like, okay, we're gonna go a different, new, funner direction, and also take out the trash on our way, aka Connor, and then go from there.
I was thinking about that because Connor, it does feel like they clearly are like, we are done. I wonder where they were in the process of like Charisma kind of being fun, because it almost feels like they're like, we'll see, who knows, maybe she'll be back, maybe she won't, with like her, right? I don't know. Jamie, do you know anything about that? Yeah, go ahead, Alistair. Sorry.
I was just going to say that it feels like they hadn't made a final decision, or at least not told Charisma a final decision was made yet.
That's what I was thinking, because otherwise I don't think they would have bothered to be like, if she can get better, she'll get better here. Jamie?
I don't remember exactly how it went down, but I do feel like they played it off as they knew they weren't going to bring her back. Like they had nowhere to bring her after this, and she just wasn't part of the plan. But it is kind of muddy because like they could have easily had her in. But I think the whole thing was like Cordelia probably wouldn't have allowed this to happen. I think she would have stopped them from going to Wolfram and Hart.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Here's where I'm going to pose a question because I don't know. I feel like say yes. There's no world in which I say no to this. I don't care who I am, what's going on. I'm like, yeah, fucking sure, all right. Like, I get to live here. I get this cool like place. I get all these amenities. I just maybe I'm a sucker. I don't know. Watching Ready or Not 2, I was like, take the deal. Every time there was a deal, I was like, just take it. Who cares? My moral compass is mostly out the window at this point, though. So I guess like the job stability and all the like money and amenities, I'm like, that just sounds nice. You don't have to be evil if you don't want to, but maybe I want to be. I don't know. We'll see.
And I could see Cordelia either being all in about it or like completely against it, like on the two extremes of the spectrum. Also, like I think depending on where like a season 1 Cordelia would have been like all about it.
Yeah.
Season 2 Cordelia, maybe not a end of season 3 Cordelia.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because I in my mind, I'm like, I think Cordy. The only reason why I do think she would have said yes, Jamie, is because I think she would have felt more like we can do good with this. Like, I think it is. I don't know, Xana. What would you have taken the deal?
I mean, personally, yes. But speaking on Cordelia, in the sense of where her character was going, like when they started making all that money in like just as Connor was born, just before everything really hit the fan, she was like, yay, let's do everything, let's hit it. But I feel like Cordelia's character, obviously with the development from Buffy season 1 to 2 of Angel, where she really started to turn the tide and actually becoming the moral compass of the entire group, where she was always like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, this is stupid. This is what's right. Let's do this. And like, obviously with the ups and downs of later seasons with her, that we kind of lost some of that momentum that we were doing. Even when she, in season 5, spoilers everybody, when she comes back and she's like, what the fuck? I can't believe that y'all said yes to this. Like, it's very much like speaking to that she would have absolutely said no. And if she was there, this would never have happened. And I feel like this is the Angel team, like the writers team jumping the shark of like, we have to just throw it all in there. Let's take them to the next level of like, we've dragged them through the mud of season 4. Let's put them up to dry on something else. So I feel like it's in that realm of they were like, literally, it's like, we just had to rewrite half of this show. Let's just kind of go there. So there's points where I love the Wolfram and Hart storyline just as it's a whole thing, but like feels very much like there's wishy-washy here considering what they had set up until this point.
I can remember when this aired being very excited, but also being worried where the show would go. Like, I was like, but is it going to be like a fully different show? I do think it's like, Jamie, it's like almost like a soft reboot, right? I feel like, would you consider that?
Kind of, but it was also like the show needed something, and it became like they were in that hotel for too long. Like that was the thing. Like they needed something, and I don't know. Most of the main characters are still there, so it is like a refresh. And I do think like the plan was to keep going. Yeah. They wanted to have more seasons, and it didn't work out that way. And I don't know where it would have gone from there, but I do think that the 5th season it just feels like it got to where the whole show was always meant to be.
I agree. Yeah. It feels like
definitely leveled up.
Yeah, it feels like the perfect final form. I wish it weren't the final season, but it does feel like, oh, we like you said, Jamie, the hotel set is cool, but like, I'm good. We don't need it anymore.
Well, by season 5 of Buffy, we'd already moved like 5 times essentially. Like almost up until 3, we had so many other third space locations for the team that like now it's just kind of like, cool. So you've actually used the hotel, but you didn't actually use the hotel to make money.
Yeah.
The whole purpose of what y'all are doing. Cool. They should have blown it up. They really should have blown up the hotel. Send it off like Buffy. Ruin your contract. Blow up the school.
They could have just made it a hotel.
Thank you. Give Lauren the hotel. Let him run his little Las Vegas show business out of there, make money, and then move on. Like,
I mean, yeah.
Lauren, I feel like
he proves he brings in money.
I was gonna say, Lauren knows how to bring in money with like shows that he would have the best drag shows. He would have the best performers.
He knows how to run a business too.
The Hyperion drag brunch, the Hyperion drag demon drag brunch would have been insane.
I would have loved it.
We should still do it.
Yeah, I was like, Jamie, that's where we'll go when I'm in LA in June. We'll find a demon drag brunch.
Honestly, that would do so well here.
It would. Yeah, I think it's an ambitious swing. Like,
Yeah.
And I was very curious watching this is what they actually, I don't know if you know, Jamie, because I know, again, you love season 5. I love it too, though. I'm wondering how much they did have planned out and didn't, because it does feel a little hastily thrown together, and not all of it carries over. The Lilah of it all makes me nuts, since they explicitly say in this episode, she will be around forever, and then is never seen again.
And we get Eve. I'm sorry, but Eve should have been Lilah. I just I don't understand what all that, it does get us Lindsay back, which I love. I love bringing Lindsay back. But it would have been so much better if Eve was Lilah, and I don't know why. And the same with all the other, only Knox. We don't get the little, the short guy that works with Lauren.
The
we don't get that
reboot was there.
Yes, he pops up for one episode, doesn't he? Yeah.
You're right. But the hot lady who's with Gunn,
Hot lady number 3, where is she?
Yeah. It feels like they had some ideas and they weren't totally sure. I'm actually mad at myself because I was watching this morning on DVD, and I wish I would have given myself more time, because there is commentary for this episode, and I think that it would have been. I'm sure a lot of these questions would have been answered if I had given myself an extra 45 minutes.
Oh, I might go back and watch that. I think that'd be pretty interesting, because I agree with the whole Lilah and Eve of it all. And the only thing that makes sense to me with that decision is charisma is kind of like the straight guy eye candy of the show, right? And I feel like they wanted to hire somebody like that, but I still don't think Eve is the straight guy eye candy. Because they really just brought in Spike to replace charisma again.
Yes. I know that they have said
point.
they have
thought about that.
Yeah, second time. They have said that there was pay reasons for bringing in James Marster, so that took up a lot of their budget. But I believe that he was expensive, but I can't imagine he was so expensive they had to nix characters. I do know that Stephanie Romanov said when we had her on the first time, she literally was told nothing. They just didn't renew her contract.
Wolf in her heart.
But okay, so this whole opening, I feel like they right, Stephanie Romanov, they kind of let her just do whatever with Lilah. It's this is a more playful, I don't give a fuck Lilah. She's flirtier, sassier. She looks fantastic in both her outfits this episode. But yeah, I love that. I love in the beginning, and she is so on it with the dialogue, and just having her back as a not really a villain, but not a hero. She's just she doesn't care. She's chaotic neutral at this point because she is dead and just fulfilling her contract. I feel like this Lilah is so fun. And I love, it immediately feels like a nice breath of fresh air, even though she is a character we have seen every season. Everything's just been so bleak that it's nice to have Lilah's snappy, sassy dialogue.
I think the weight of being alive was lifted off of her shoulders. It's just, you can kind of be free when you're dead. Look at how fun Spike was when he was a ghost.
True.
Well, I think that you also needed that comedic balance, especially without Cordelia being around for so long. You needed that.
Yeah.
I think the tension of comedy and just what they have set up in that first 45 seconds of the opening was a perfect way to deliver how silly this is. That hey, you spent 4 years trying to destroy this evil corporation. They've just given up and quite literally passed you the key. What do you, yes, and this moment for us? There was no script at all. They're just put them in the hotel, just give them a line and see where they go with it. And that's how season 5 happened.
And I kind of love how she's it's your reward for ending world peace. She is so shitty about it all. And they're well, that's not what happened. And she's yeah, it is. I don't care. I'm just saying that's what happened. I
on
truly
paper,
don't give a
that's
shit.
what happened.
Yeah.
I always thought that was interesting because, they did stop an evil. It's but of course, Wolf in My Heart would see that as world peace with the caveat doesn't matter. But no, they did the right thing. They did the right thing.
I think this opening scene is like such a great summary of what Angel actually is, where they're
Yeah.
playing with the darkness of what the show does so well, plus having that like there's no reward without cost. And even vice versa, when there's like when you do destroy an evil, there's still cost to getting the reward. It's very, very interesting how they kind of tied that so well together in such a small comedic scene in the beginning
Yeah.
at the end of their season 4 of whatever they decided to do. It's just like no good deed goes unpunished without what you've done, and you've been the cause of every single good and bad deed. Essentially, it's two sides of the coin that Angel was flipped for Buffy, at least. So, which we saw less of in Buffy for sure.
Yeah.
Well, because I think of Jasmine as like world peace with taxes, but the taxes are like
inflation
human
world
lives.
peace.
Yeah.
Like the tariffs keep going up. It's like, oh, just 2 dead people. Wow,
Which
just
would have
10.
been so funny to explore on Angel season 8 with the tariffs and the corporation of Wolfram and Hart.
So Lila's kind of like, whatever, the limo's coming later, just go to it or don't. We get our Connor scene. All of the Connor stuff, you like exactly summarized how I feel about it, Alistair. Really just feels like we're like, we didn't even like writing this. We gotta wrap it up. Let's give the scenes are 5 seconds. He stops a cop from like kind of having a breakdown, kind of from shooting himself, and then gets his daddy and mommy issues come out and he beats the shit out of him because the guy's a family. Is it supposed to be that these people are like, it's like, I guess, still feeling the effects of losing Jasmine?
Yeah, it's like when we talked about this on the Magic Bullet. It's like it really is like a depression. It's like losing a great love all at once. I like that they kind of showed how it's affecting everybody, because I'm sure a lot of people did kill themselves after that.
Right? Yeah, yeah.
I think too, even leading into like Wolfram and Hart truly like offering the team this offer right here in that moment was them capitalizing on the fact that like after everything that has just happened, they're like, we have them at their weakest. We can now sink our teeth in as hard as we want. Because you can see the eagerness in all of them, especially in the next scene when they're all like waiting for the limo. Like, of course, it's already the darkness has sank into all of them, and they're all willing to open their minds into that part of their world. So, I think that probably is for this team. Obviously, we see them in such a different light versus seeing that one cop who we've never met before, day player number 4, like just like I'm gonna kill myself, and we're like, all right. Sorry, you're messing with Connor.
well, they were definitely in for a restart after all that exhaustion. And then for Connor, like I definitely see Connor as like the school shooter type.
Oh,
but
God.
I don't see him as a guy that would like, put together bombs and program them. Like, who helped him with this stuff?
Well, he learned that in the Hell Dimension.
In the Hell Dimension?
Bombs there.
Yes, of course.
With the bomb
we
squad.
Didn't go. We were never in it. We don't know what they had. They obviously had the bomb factory next to the demon spawn.
True.
We go to the hotel. Everyone's kind of in disarray. They're all kind of like, ooh, I'm not going. Are you going? No, I should get to bed. I kind of like that Fred's the first one we follow because of all of them, she's the one that I would... Of the characters we have left, she's the one I would have said would be least likely to do it. So I kind of like it because also, I don't know, in things like this, when it's a moral issue, I'm always like, yeah, but like, just see, let's see. Like, I would go, and Xana, you would be Lauren already in the limo.
See, like having them open, like hearing nothing, and then an immediate party with Lauren having a cocktail in the back of that limo just speaks to who he is perfectly, because we, of course, would expect anybody else but Lauren in there, and he's like, I'm here for the free drinks. Let's hit it. Like, we had a weekend. We should have some R&R. Let's go. And I think that's where Fred was also. She's like, you know what? I'm probably going to get fed today. Like, let's just go to the evil corporation.
Right.
It's also curiosity. Like someone like Fred, she's got to know. She's got to know.
Or even just like recon, right? For, seeing what's up. Though I did find it interesting, like Gunn, like the other character that wouldn't have fit in, Gunn, and even the writers were like, well, we're basically going to have to insert this whole plot point to make him fit into the scheme of, Wolfram and Hart, and make him like the suits guy.
Yeah. I don't. We'll talk about that when we get there, I guess.
But also, they never set that up. They gave him security.
No.
I don't think they. In one of the shots, did they not have him go into the security building?
He thinks that's where they're going, but then they're like, no, we've got better plans for you. And then they take him up to the Panther.
Well, they had a whole facelift from the last corporation to the next one, so maybe that all went out with the wash and Lilah.
So yeah, I and it does track for this group that they would not have communicated that they all did want to go. That does track, because lots of times on these shows I'm like, why aren't people just saying the thing? But with this group, I'm like, yes, they would not say the thing.
They hadn't figured out the pager system yet. They absolutely would have had a group chat, be like, I'm gonna go downstairs now. It would have been that for sure.
We get there, and even Gunn says, we're just gonna take the tour. And for me, I'm at the very base level, yes, because I would, not in a Fred way, because I'm not that smart, but in a curiosity, I'm a nosy Puerto Rican bitch way, need to see.
This whole thing is basically don't eat the apple from the tree, I'll be back in 20 minutes. Basically, they're literally that. You can't tempt anybody without a little bit of Lilah being the snake. Be like, go ahead, take a bite. It's literally it.
Also, there might be a gift shop. Right? They could get a Wolfram and Hart magnet.
The way the Wolfram and Hart gift shop would go so fucking hard. Even their secret scroll room, we get to see in the end of season 1 when they're trying to find the Shanshu prophecy, that alone would have sold massively.
Right?
It's funny. I know I wouldn't go. I wouldn't have gone. Really? Because once I'm there, I know the temptation would be too strong. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty good at having a moral stance.
What would they have to say to get you there? What would be the thing that would push you?
Oh, it would be what's going on with Lauren. As somebody who all I want to do is talk to and interview actors, and that's what that's my job. And if it was here's a list of them, that would have been it. I would have been sold. So that's why I would not have gotten in the limo.
I call you. I'm like, well, Jamie, they said you can talk to. You're like, shut up.
No.
Alastair, they resurrected Brittany Murphy last week. We have her on a contract. Let's go.
Alastair, I am curious. Would you go?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Okay, because I know for me, this group, Xana, I say this with love. I know you and I are both the two that would be like, fucking yeah. I know you and I would.
I mean, I've already worked for evil organizations,
I didn't want to say, but you want to throw yourself under the bus.
In my defense, I use the evils that I have for good. I use my privileges and I help others. So why wouldn't I get to the top of the ranks to do good? It would make most sense.
I think I would probably tell myself that's what I was going to do. But
it's people going into politics.
Yeah. Yes.
And then they come out worth $50 million.
Right. And they did nothing. They didn't help anyone. They said they were going to help. And they're like, but I made money. Well,
I'm doing it for good. And they mean that, but then they're there.
Right. I do think some of at the time they do mean it, but yeah, Alastair, I thought you might say you wouldn't go because I feel like you have more morals than I do.
Well, also if the whole team is going, right?
That's fair.
You can't be the one left out.
FOMO of the Wolfram and Hart offer. I have to go.
I feel I would be let's pretend we're done. I'm cutting you off. I'm going to go over here and we're going to be in secret cahoots so that in case something goes wrong, I can do something about it.
Yeah, but then they're getting paid a lot of money.
Well,
and I'm not.
Alastair, also to that point, I know that me and your husband would be in that fucking limo. So maybe you'd be like, well, everyone else is going.
The FOMO.
So yeah, they get there, and even all of this, Lilah. So again, getting to know Stephanie Romanov, she is very flirty. So when Lilah is very flirty, for me, that is her. When we did that interview, she made me flex for her and kiss my muscles, told me she would top me. That is who she is. And I feel like she's getting to be a little bit more her injected to Lilah here. but I think it works. I don't think it feels uncharacteristic because Lila's always shitty, but it's just like a more like Lilah did some cocaine or something. Like
She's always been like, it's always felt deep down like it's a power play, but it's kind of like hot. It's very dommy mommy, and I think anybody with that kind of family trauma would obviously pick up on that. So specifically you as well, but yeah.
Speaking of family trauma, I think that's why like Wesley and her are my favorite ship of Wesley and somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
Because I already tried him with Cordelia and then Fred.
Yeah.
Ran through. Gunn was next.
I mean, at this point, I mean, they do have chemistry.
They do. What was it? Season 3 when we were like, wait, they do kind of have chemistry here. I think it was 3 or 2. They all pair off. They all get their guides. And as Jamie was mentioning, only Knox and is it Sirkin? Is that the older dude's name? Ever pop up again. The other guy, I think he's only in one other episode. Knox is the only one that actually stays a character, which feels bananas because he gets nothing to do in this episode, and he was just in an episode of Buffy.
I was gonna ask, I feel like I'm not very refreshed, but he is Conversations with Dead People?
Yeah.
Yep. Is he the
Holden?
And like that's the same season of like Buffy season 7 is running while this is running.
He was just on the lot. They were like, "Girl, you just died. Let's get you out of makeup and put you over here." Like,
it's which
they do with a lot of people.
They just love Jonathan Woodward, and he's been on my podcast, and he's like a delightful person, and we got to try to get him for season 5 because he really likes talking about this stuff, and it's like we all hate Knox. Knox is the worst, but you're supposed to hate him. So
I was gonna ask Jamie if he mentioned that because so Tom Lenk did play a vampire before he played Andrew in season 5, but he was in full vamp face the whole time. And he said that their rule was if you had any type of makeup on, you were allowed to be cast again in another role. That was like
the judge played two characters as well.
But then with him, it kind of goes out the window because Knox isn't in vamp face the whole time. So it's like very clearly the same person.
I guess it's a different show, different rules.
Well, it's also they were ending Buffy, right? And they're like, I don't think it'll be a conflict anymore. It works out, you know.
I don't think I noticed at the time.
I noticed.
In their defense, there's doppelgangers. I will give them that. Maybe he had a twin. Maybe that is just his twin, and he didn't know he died.
I would be curious, like if and when we get him on. I think I would ask him like what they were all told, the guides. If like it was like you might be brought back, and then they just only brought him and the other guy back once, or like they were told. I would be curious that I did interview him at the first Hellmouth Con I went to 500 years ago, and he. To Jamie's point, he is very charming. He was drunk. He came over to my table and he was like, let's interview people together. And it was when I was not as portable as I am now. So I had this set up with my microphone plugged into my computer and he's like, let's go. And he lifts up the mic. I'm carrying my computer and we're walking around the con interviewing people together. And there was a trivia question he asked about his character that I didn't know. And he was like, oh, you don't know? No one knew the answer. It was like the name of the religion they worship, I think, for Illyria.
Oh, I'd have to think about it. I'm sure I know in some way. He came on my podcast to talk about a Firefly episode he wasn't even on. He's like, I love that episode. Let's just talk about it. I was like a fan. He wasn't even in the episode.
I thought he was on for an episode he was in.
Nope, because we missed him. He couldn't make that one. He's like, but I love this one. Can I just come talk about that one? Sure.
That's so funny. I love that.
Also, even in just the brief moments that they're together, I do think that Fred and him have chemistry.
Yeah.
And maybe just seeing that, being like, oh, these two actors have chemistry. Let's, bring that into season 5.
Yeah, I could totally see that. But right, they really don't do that much. It's like he kind of walks her to the science lab and
to be fair, the two characters that do roll over do end up being incredibly evil and betray the teams. So like, here we are.
Yeah.
Well, and to be fair, I do think that the actor has chemistry with a lot of people because I think that him and Buffy had chemistry too.
Yeah,
I loved their conversation.
Yeah,
like, it was like
for someone to be introduced as like a high school character that we never met. We're like, why wasn't he there? Why didn't you incorporate him earlier?
Yeah. Yeah, it would that stuff like that. It's funny. I feel like Buffy and Angel were good at doing it when they did it, but sometimes it was like, oh man, that would have been like how Harmony was just like a side character that was nothing, and she is in the final season of Angel as like a main character. And like, I love when they bring shit back like that.
It'll always make me mad that they didn't bring back Claire Duvall. Like, I want to see invisible assassin teens. I'm so like,
Yes.
even when I started reading the comics, I'm like, maybe now we'll get that. And it's like they never touch on that again, and I'm still mad about it.
It was too hard. It was too expensive to draw the Invisible Girl. They really couldn't do
There's no
it.
way to do it.
So speaking on that, are we under the assumption that the government team that took her in the end of season 1 was just Wolfram and Hart?
I always felt like it could have easily been
maybe
the
a subcontractor,
but yeah, maybe.
I thought I just like we already know the government's got their hands in monster business, so
Yeah, or it could have been like the initiative. It was something, a subdivision of something.
All right,
they do, but they wouldn't want to take liability, so they probably hire out to them.
Okay, so just so we all can tell who has worked for the government in this chat and who has not.
I'm not saying that's the thing. I'm saying in this world.
But you have like the smarter take of like, well, this is how it would be done, you idiots, and we're like,
if invisible teenagers were real, this is what they would do.
I'm Canadian, so all your stuff is all nonsense and made up. So I
don't know. We get the
jealous.
Gunn gets his kind of tour. And as you mentioned, they go to the security. He thinks he's security. And she's like, we have bigger plans for you. He gets in the elevator we have seen before, gets out at the White Room. And
they give him a Black Panther.
Yeah.
Come on.
I was like, is this like...
Could have been anything else. Anything else.
He even says, I miss the little girl, because like she was less scary than Panther.
Disagree.
Yeah, the kitty was cute. How much did that cost? We don't know. How much green screen was that cat on?
I can't tell if I hate the White Room the way it looks, or I kind of love it, because it's really nothing. Like,
it's a whole lot of nothing.
I think it's cool. I think it's neat.
I just don't care about it.
That's fair.
Like,
fair.
I mean, it's used as like a big plot point, but like, I don't think they really ever expand on it. Maybe they were supposed to, like later on, but since they didn't, I just didn't really care about it.
I feel like it didn't have to be like, essentially, obviously the White Room is representing this whole, it's everything and nothing all at the same time. But even when Angel talks to, I'm forgetting the name of them in season 1, when he's trying to like convince the oracles, in that room, like it felt still so like otherworldly, even though it was just a room. Or like in the Matrix, when he finds like the center mind piece and it's just all a bunch of cameras, like that's what makes it so unique and well done. But when it's just like a blurry, we didn't have the technology yet kind of thing, like it kind of takes you out, when they could have used practical effects to make it look super cool. And I feel like that's where I'm kind of like, this is a whole bunch of nothing, when it could have been done practically and looked way better.
So I was thinking, I've been thinking about Lost lately. I don't know if any of you are Lost girlies. I loved Lost.
I am.
I've seen it.
Love it.
So I don't know if y'all remember, there was an epilogue episode, came out after the finale, that they released with the DVDs. It's like 10 minutes, and it's like them answering. It's like Ben goes to the Dharma station that's doing the food drops, and they ask him like, what about those polar bears? And he's like, well, you see. Then he explains what the polar bears were for and how there was that one bird. I don't even remember. I only rewatched that epilogue because I did like the AMA on Instagram, and someone was like, what show from the early 2000s would you like to see have a revival that's not Buffy or Angel? And I was like, I think Lost. I think more streamlined, it could be better. And I talked about the epilogue, and like 3 people were like, what epilogue? So I sent it, and then I watched it.
I own all the DVDs, and
it's
never seen
I actually
final
didn't know
season
about that
DVDs. Yeah. And they bring, it's Ben Linus, Hurley, and Walt's son, whose name I forget, are like the characters that you see again.
No, Walt is the son.
Oh, right. Okay. So Walt, yes. And like it sets up for, because I remember thinking it was going to be a spinoff of like Hurley is in charge of the island. Anyway, I watched that. really circling back, I thought of it the way Angel with the White Room and stuff like that. How there was a lot of Wolfram and Hart stuff that was like cool lore that kind of went nowhere, like the White Room, like Lilah's contract being, we explicitly learn not until they're done and they send her back to hell, and then we just never do that again. That could have been something cool of like bringing back random lawyers we saw get killed. The dude in that Faith beats up in season 1, whose name Lee, I think is his name, that was like reoccurring. Could have brought him, but like I just think those are things that are cool lore that could have been used, and they kind of
They wrote themselves in a little circle there as well, because when Lilah kills people above her, it's like, killing me does nothing when I'm contracted here forever. Like, they play very fast and loose with the rules that they set up for themselves, especially in that little world of Wolfram and Hart. And like, even with how this season has been, they could have explored so much more of setting up them actually going to Wolfram and Hart in season 5. Like, I just feel like they could have given us so much. Like, Wolfram and Hart should have been a bigger part of this show than it ever really was. It was always this like,
I agree.
Oh, they're here, they're looming. But it's like, we should have gotten like detailed information from their perspectives in multiple parts of this show.
Honestly, that's why I did want to see Wolfram and Hart in the Buffy revival, because there's just so much cool things you can do, and it fits so well in that universe.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, like bring Lilah back again, because do the same thing. Oh, her contract's still in play.
She can be aging in hell. That's fine.
Right? Sure. I don't
She's
care.
in aging hell.
Yeah,
The hell with
yeah,
no
yeah.
Botox.
I mean, maybe that's part of hell. And to be fair, I haven't finished Angel After the Fall or the subsequent like comics.
I
so
own
I'm
them,
not
but I
sure
haven't
if
read
they go
them.
back.
Same.
Yeah, I have them, but I haven't finished them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I dropped off. I have so many, and I'm like, I've read half of these, so.
I had, because it was like I bought it when I think I hadn't really rewatched Angel that many times. I think I read like maybe the first one or like half of it and kept being like needing to look up who they were referencing. Now I probably wouldn't need to as much, but like it was kind of taking me out, and I was like, all right, I'll go back to this, and then never did.
I'll probably go back after Slayerfest finishes like season 5.
I'm thinking
I
that,
think that'd
yeah.
be a good time to do it.
It's funny, people ask me if we're going to cover the comics. We covered the Buffy comics, just so everyone's clear. We did cover the Buffy comics. People
All
always
of
like,
them?
I did one episode. I didn't need to cover each of them individually. I did one episode talking about all of them.
I mean, you could do every issue as an
Page
episode,
to page
like,
coverage.
something to do, you know?
No, I couldn't.
Or like
I could not.
trades.
I could not.
Okay, what I will say is that the omnibus, like there's like full like packets of them, that could work.
That could work.
Slayerfest page to page, 1-to-1. You could do it if you want to.
Xana, have you read the comics?
I did read a good chunk of them. I think I got maybe 1/3 of the way while they were coming out.
Okay.
And then I fell off, but yeah.
I got overwhelmed. Like, too many things, like, they kept happening and I kept being behind. And that's comics in general, though. I'm just like, there's too many and I'm overwhelmed. But you know, and then like, I have a habit of, it's been a while since I've seen or read something, I want to go back and read.
Yeah.
So like the first chunk of them, I've read so many times with the hope of continuing. And then I just don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ended up stopping at the Dawn and Xander thing.
Yeah. When they everybody started fucking everybody, I was like, Willow and Buffy did not need to do this in the comics. Thank you so much. Like, we're fine.
No, it was Buffy
Just
and
'cause you can draw it.
Slayer.
Yeah.
So there's one issue of the comics that Joss Whedon wrote that I think is like one of the best issues of the comics, where it's like fully detached from it's like Buffy and Willow have to go find a thing in like a dimension, and it's just like them talking about the last few years of their life and like talking through, like, Willow did put a little bit of blame on Buffy for Tara's death and knew it was unfair to do that, but like had that in the back of her head. And I thought that was a conversation I really wish we had gotten in the show, because that makes sense. Like, even if she's like, no, but I love you, I know that's unfair, but I relate it to you, so, because it's like Willow had a new girlfriend, Buffy hadn't met her, and shit like that is stuff I love for like a continuation.
Yeah, they never really talked through Tara's death, like, fully. They just talked around it like it was going to trigger her into, like, destroying the world.
She was crashing out for a bit there.
She was.
Going on.
Jamie?
My favorite interview clip of all time is Sarah Michelle Gellar and Seth Green on some like MTV carpet, and it comes up that Buffy has like a little like lesbian tryst, and Sarah Michelle Gellar doesn't know, and her reaction is just beautiful, and Seth Green's like, yeah. And she's like, is it with Willow? And
I
he's
love
like,
that
no.
that's her first thing is it with Willow?
Yeah. The only other queer woman in the universe is the only option.
And she's very like, well, good for her.
Yeah, because she literally goes, good for her.
Yeah.
I've watched it like 10,000 times. It's so funny.
I think it might be them before the Paleyfest panel. I think. Because if I recall, she's wearing a like beige, like kind of tube toppy, like flowy tube top thing. And that's
of course you recall the outfit.
Because I was gonna say, because that's how I like know where Sarah Michelle Gellar is by what she's wearing and what her hair looks like.
Her hair.
So Wesley goes into what this. Did they say he's a former watcher? This guy?
No, Wesley clocks him on it.
Knows it. Yeah,
okay,
Wesley knows.
Okay. Former watcher brings him to their library. I do like the idea. Wolfram Hart is efficient, and it makes sense they would be more efficient, right? Like Wolfram Hart was going digital before that was like a full thing, and that's like
they went magic digital.
Yeah, it's like, well, you only have like you only have like 8 books, and he's like, yeah, open one, and I would like
that's pretty cool.
But then we go to the filing room where they have actual whole cabinets. And then in this whole season, there was that one character that was like, yeah, I'm files and records. I know all of them. I was like, then why are you sitting in a room full of cabinets?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Is that Flo, the progressive lady? Is that?
Yep.
But she's been that. She's just throughout every universe, wherever she is, she's Flo, the progressive lady. She's just adding information in.
Because
maybe they have to have a physical copy and a mystical copy of everything. Like you have to have a digital copy and a physical copy.
True. Maybe, I would imagine some demons are not up to date.
I would love to say that this book room is what the White Room should be. Like it can be mystical in the sense of what it actually is versus being that wishy-washy green stuff.
Yeah, no, I agree. So yeah, I literally in my notes, it says he breaks into what looks like files and records. So where the fuck is Flo? I do really like this scene. I do like the scene between him and Lilah.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
I feel like like you said, it is heartbreaking because she's still being snappy, but she's even like, oh, you're valiant to the end. I appreciate and what does she say? Like, but it means something that you tried. She knows there's no way this is working. She's dealt with Wolfram and Hart way more personally than any of them have. There's no part of her brain that's like, ooh, this might work. She knows it's not going to work, but she does appreciate the like effort. And I think that's really nice to like see.
Yeah.
Even though
she's also kind of settled in.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, she's been tortured for a few months now.
Yeah.
So
she's been dead in the ground.
Good.
This is quite literally her furlough. She's like, please don't do that. I'm gonna continue around.
Fred and Wesley are like my OTP of all time. Like I love them so deeply, and I love how tragic they are, and I wouldn't change a thing. But I also love Wesley and Lilah. I really like their dynamic a lot, and it makes like I think Alastair was kind of saying this earlier. Like it makes so much sense, and I appreciate even like. Since we don't see her again, I think this is a really beautiful final goodbye for them and their relationship.
100%.
I was going to say that as much as I hate that we don't see her again, I do think this is a very good final scene for them. They almost could have easily been like, oh, my contract's up once I give you guys this tour.
Well, she did mention I'm supposed to go straight back to hell after this.
Yeah,
I think earlier
like,
on.
So I feel like, it's implied that like that's where she is, but like she still has to work for. I don't know, but yeah,
like she would be the intermediary.
Yeah. Alastair, I love when you use words that are all professional, and I'm like, oh right, you know what you're talking about with this shit. I love Lilah saying to him, just me and you, boss. Let's take a tour of the chocolate factory. It's so good. They go to that office, which kind of almost looks like the office he does get, but with weird like 70s curtains.
They changed up the decor.
Yeah, because like there's like that stone wall that he does sit in front of. I don't know. Jamie, what were you gonna say? Sorry.
I understand why they don't use this building again, because it's like it's like a mall. Like they can't have the budget to keep that, which was what bothers me. It's like you knew you couldn't keep this. Why did you? It's such a small thing, but like there's certain continuity errors and stuff that I'm like, this could have been prevented.
Because it's very obviously not
looked.
a set, right? Like it's very obviously,
exactly.
yeah.
It's not, and it's so funny when they go to Italy in season 5 and it's the same office in Italy. Like that shit's funny. Like but.
Magicians does that same shit when they do like the other school in the Antarctic, and it's exactly the same, just lit blue. And like, I do think that's funny. It's like, yeah, okay, I can buy it. Sure. Lilah also says something to him that I kind of like. She says, people don't need an unyielding champion. They need a man who knows how to work from the inside. I kind of like that. I was like, she's not 100% wrong. I don't know if my non-existent morals maybe show up when I say that, but she gives him a file with, as Angel reads, Sunnydale on it. Buffy can handle herself, but isn't it more fun when you handle her is a very good Lilah line. I wish we had just gotten a teeny bit more of what this is. I just wish, just like a pinch more. Because then we go to Buffy, she gets the thing, Spike wears it, and we see what it does, but like we don't. And then we kind of, when Spike comes back, it's like, oh, it was a plot to capture him, but like that doesn't track with what's going on.
And am I correct in thinking that this aired after he took it to Sunnydale?
No, it did. It was before. It was before.
Okay, because that whole like all the air dates are so messed up between 4 and 7 that like when I tell people to watch it, I'm like, watch them by episode order. But when you get to these ones, text me so I can tell you what to do, because they've really messed that up.
So I do have it up. It aired right before End of Days is when it would have aired. So like literally the episode before the finale.
Okay,
something outside of that realm of like her passing the amulet to him without us actually acknowledging that, because at that time we were like, what's the package? Because if you were watching this in tandem or if you're trying to do it after, it may get a little muddled. People may not understand that that's what's happening. Or if you're watching Buffy through or Angel through, it's weird that like they were like, oh, well, we did this, let's just bring it back for Spike. Like we could just bring Spike back easily through that. It's like, who decided what magic was involved? Even when when it was used in Buffy, it was kind of like the magic necklace is doing the magic necklace thing. We don't really know. Right? It was never truly explained. It's just the necklace that is doing something again.
For me though, it doesn't matter because
shipping it.
Yeah.
UPS.
It all comes down to though, because at the end of the day, it's just about, is Spike or Angel the champion? Is it which one of them is the one? And we get that whole dynamic in season 5. And it's my favorite thing because, that's one of the reasons season 5 I think is so good, is because it's their chemistry and everything that they have. And, I love talking about the fact that they canonically did fuck. They absolutely did fuck each other. And I love that. And it's like, it doesn't really matter what the necklace does. It's what the necklace represents in their struggle together, and that's enough for me.
I agree with that. I think it bothers me when in season 5 they're like, oh, it was going to trap Angel, because that for me doesn't track with like
they already got him with Wolfram and Hart. They didn't need to give him an necklace.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's a good point.
Like that's what bothers me, because it's like, okay, but that doesn't seem like that's what it was supposed to do. Like if they were like, it was supposed to, if it kills Spike and they were like, oh, it's supposed to kill Angel, I can maybe buy that a little bit more. I don't know. Because also then Angel would have come back as a ghost. That doesn't really seem like he would have been really pissed at them. Like,
or not, because maybe they would have buried the envelope and like no one could have opened it and freed him. But you could have been a million different scenarios.
It's also weird hearing, I know it's like whatever, but I love when other characters who haven't met Buffy talk about Buffy. So I like hearing Lilah mention her. Yeah. She says they know where Connor and Cordelia are.
Turn on the news.
She turns on the news, and I do like Angel saying, ooh, is that high def? Connor is there. And she says he does have your eyes when he like scours at the camera. And then we get the like commercial break, and I love the like cut to him choking her, and she says, watch the head, kind of comes off easy. Angel then tells her that there's going to be a specific deal. Then we go to Connor. We get the Connor bullshit. It's not even that bad because it goes pretty fast. I'm like, I don't care. It's nice to see Angel throw a knife in his leg because thank you for doing something.
This is so like played out. This should have ended half a season ago. They could have done this specific thing half a season ago, and we would have been so fine with everything that was like. Why is this in the like? This is what I'm saying. When they took us out of like all the cool shit that they were trying to set up by bringing us back to Connor and Cordelia, I'm like, we're done.
Yeah,
Scrap it, please.
It really doesn't feel any different than any other interaction they've had together. Like.
Circles. And that's why I love the decision that's ultimately made.
Yes.
Because it's
same.
like, it's the only way we can get out of this. It's the only way to fix Connor is to
the Connor problem.
Yeah.
Well, I agree. Zach was watching this one with me, and he was like, "Oh, so Angel's a deadbeat dad." I also agree with that too. Like he's like, let's just get rid of the problem by like making him forget it, and then making an entire family like, believe that that's her son. Like it's a lot of minds to erase. I forget her name, but the Lynette actress for doing all the SAT stuff to get her kid in school, but Angel did the same thing, but even worse with Connor.
Felicity Huffman.
Yeah, Felicity Huffman.
Oh, I had no idea what you're. I was
and Felicity Huffman. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah. Cheating the system.
Just like after 3 seasons of this, of going back and forth, of fighting, trying to love your son, and then you just literally ship him off to another family. I was like, you could have left him in the hell dimension. Why did you try to find him? Like, what is going on? It feels so like, what was the whole point of this whole thing? True, if we were to go down any of the paths, any of the storylines with him, why did we end it here? Like this made no sense. He should have just died. They could have just killed him as a sacrifice to save Cordelia and send her off with a new memory to a new family. Like that could have been what they were doing.
Then Angel would have been so broody about it.
Exactly.
It's like, I know a lot of people say about the Buffy finale that they wanted Xander instead of Anya to die. And the like biggest reason I counteract that is because then Buffy and Willow would have had to be too sad. Like it wouldn't have made sense if they were standing there smiling if Xander had just died. Because even if everyone hates him, they did not, right? Like
I feel like I'm the only one who's like, Anya lived a really long time. I think
she did.
Like,
she did.
The rest of them are 25, 22.
Yes.
Like,
right. Yes. No,
did she really live until she was human again?
All right. You're right.
Anthony Oliveira once said, I think it was like in season 5 or maybe season 7, that like Anya and Spike made the most sense as the characters that had to die in the finale if we have to kill main characters, because they are the ones that live the longest and we're getting to their redemption. Like this was their redemption, dying to save people. Honestly, that fully sold me on. I love Anya.
That's how I felt.
Anyways,
like a front-facing death would have been nice.
I feel like we keep taking detours because there's like not much else to say about this. So he pins Connor down. We're like, maybe he's going to stab him, and we fade to white. We go back to the lobby. I almost wish we had gotten a little more of Lauren and Fred, because when they do get their little moments together, it's always like very charming. Like it just reads like a gay and a straight best girly, like, I don't know. She feels like she gets a kick out of him. So I love that he comes in and he like twirls her. And I do like that everyone's coming in. They're kind of like, oh, I don't know. And Angel's like, nope, I took the deal. I made the decision. That would piss me off if I was everyone else.
Par for the course with that man.
You're not the boss anymore.
That's true. That's true. But right, Alastair, I'd be like, excuse me, who is in charge here? Because...
That was Wesley. He even called Wesley boss at the beginning of the episode.
He did. Xana, what do you think?
I mean, I think it's just all like semantics at this point. It's like if Wesley needs to get called boss to feel good about himself, sure. But I think it's not called Wesley investigating. Like it's not called Wesley. We're not talking about Wesley. It's Angel. So very much like I think they even do. The characters were like, yeah, like I can say I'm in charge, but it's always going to be who do they run to? The vampire with the soul.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
They could have changed it to Wesley and Hart.
True.
It was.
Was
Wesley's
Raymond
bread
Horner.
and gun part. Yeah, the people who opened up pretty much the season 4 because people were missing.
Yes. So then Angel doesn't get a deal. Lilah says, I'm impressed with a lot of you, Team Angel, all grown up. She also does, which we mentioned, says that if anyone can fix Cordelia, it's them. I do like that when Angel's like, oh, I'm gonna go see him, and she's like, no, that's not part of the deal. And he's like, I need to the limo will take me to Connor. And Fred going, who's Connor? I do think that's like a clever way of
We had
like
our
that a lot.
Dawn moment.
Yeah. It's like reverse Dawn.
Reverse Dawn.
Yeah. And then Angel goes to see him, whatever, sure, fine. I can remember when I watched this live being like, I hope I never see Connor ever again, because I like watching this live, I hated Connor at this point, like more than I'd ever hated a fictional character when this was airing. And I was like, great, because I knew writing wise, if Connor died, that would have been such a slog and Angel would have been miserable for every season moving forward. And I didn't need more miserable Angel. So I needed them to like rewrite and or take him out of the show. And they did both. So great. And I like him when he comes back the 2 times in season 5.
Yeah.
That's like, it all comes down to the writing because Vincent's good. Like, he's not like, it's not his fault. So I really like this scene at the end. I'm like, oh, look how charming he can be. He can be so cute. Who, like, this whole time we could have been having cute little charming kid. So I really like what they do with him in season 5. It's just a little sprinkle and it's just enough.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would have been better if we had that charming kid. Like, yeah, the first couple episodes where he's just fresh out of the hell dimension, sure, he can be annoying. But if we got that charming version of him the entire time and then he died, the impact of that would have made more sense than just like writing him out of the show completely because he was a bad character. It's just like we could have had this really fun, like Angel has a superpowered son and they're a father-son team. Then he dies. That's where the tragedy lives versus being like, your shitty son and your shitty dad. Here's some bad scenes together. Hit it. Like,
Listen,
it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense for, like, even back then in the 2001, 2002 era, like, why did we not try? Why did we not try harder?
Xana, I need to tell you this specifically because you weren't a co-host yet, but in season 3 at the end, when we get just like the last 3 episodes, I think Connor appears in season 3. There is a moment when they are on top of each other, breathing heavily, and like they do not feel like, and I remember being like, but they didn't really feel like father and Philip Ellis, one of our other co-hosts, was like, no, yeah, it felt like they were 2 men who were gonna fuck. And I was like, yes, that's what it felt like. And I don't love that I'm saying this out loud. And I don't love that I'm saying it again. But like, they felt so not like family or like father and son there's never a moment when they felt like father and son. And I do think there should have been something that made it feel that way.
I mean, maybe it was specifically like that because up until he was kidnapped, we as the audience felt that was taken away from them. So they aren't. I think that's what they were trying to nail home, is that they are not connected in any way outside of them being mystically connected, right?
That's fair. Because
that dead vampire sperm, I do not think created that baby. So.
Which is the kind of the relationship a lot of gay men have with their father. They're not connected. You know?
It really depends on what porn site you're watching.
Jesus.
No, but I mean, they could have, you know, they had a lot of common. I do think that the writers were a little lazy when it came to Connor, and you can tell.
Yeah.
With that.
Because
it was such a huge setup and then such a huge letdown.
Hands up, I never like a kid plot though. I just don't.
No, I don't either.
No.
I hate a mystical pregnancy.
Anytime a character's pregnant, I'm like, oh fucking Christ.
In this series alone, it was every season, and sometimes twice a season, there was a mystical fucking pregnancy. Like, I'm so sorry, other things can happen.
Right. Like,
I always shout out Parks and Rec for doing like, she's pregnant with triplets, and then we jump ahead. We never have to see any of that shit, and they never make us, like, they do not make those kids a character. They're just around sometimes in the back, and I'm like, bless you for not doing that, because I don't give a shit about these kids.
The only time I've ever liked a child plot.
kids should be seen, not heard.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
when it comes to supernatural television, kids shouldn't be seen or heard, only mentioned.
I was about to say, where was the mystical STD? And then I realized that there was an episode first season where they had that.
Yeah.
I would argue that Connor was a mystical STD, and that lingered. Flare-ups every season.
And we got the shot at the end of season 4, but we got a little flare-ups in season 5. So yeah, that closes out the episode. He's watching Connor have a good time with his new family. The only trivia we didn't really cover is that originally Tim Minear wanted to call Cirque's character Hitchcock as an homage to Alfred Hitchcock, and to reference the Hitchcockian qualities of Wolfram and Hart, but it was deemed too obvious, and Douglas Sirk was a director who was a contemporary of Alfred Hitchcock. They went with that name. Jamie, do you know who that director is?
Yeah, Douglas Sirk. Yeah. In this exact moment, I can't think of the movies, but I do know who that is. Yeah,
I've never heard of it. But I do think Hitchcock would have been way too on the nose.
Yeah.
Like, that's like calling a character Freddy Krueger. Like, well, no, you can't, because, like... And before we say goodbye, we have one more special guest for everybody.
It is Lilah herself.
Stephanie Romanov. I was waiting for you to say Lilah Morgan. I wanted the full introduction.
Wow, we crushed that. 10 out of 10, no notes. Nailed it.
Stephanie, it is so good to have you back on the podcast.
It is so lovely to be here. I've missed you.
I know. I've missed your face. You look great because duh. We're finally closing out Angel season 4. We got to your...
What do you mean by finally?
Because without you, there's like a long stretch without you. So that's why it's,
oh, thank you. That's really sweet.
But we got to your last episode, and it was funny rewatching it now, knowing you. Like...
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
So we're both curious about Lilah's final appearance, and Jamie came up with some good questions. I was thinking this felt the most Stephanie injected into Lilah, is what I was thinking. I was curious what you thought.
Yeah, I love that because I haven't seen it in a really long time. And when you said we're doing this, I was like, oh, I should probably watch the episode. And I'm watching, it's like, oh my gosh, I forgot how funny they gave me the greatest kind of comedic lines.
Yeah.
And I chewed them up. And it is most, now that you know me, it's the most actually like me of any other Lilah episode I know. So I had picked up on that when I was watching it again yesterday in preparation. I was like, ooh, I'm funny.
Lilah was funny. I got to go back and rewatch it again.
Yeah. So, because normally, I'm playing this evil vixen and blah, blah, blah. And then suddenly, but they did it slowly, actually, over the last couple of episodes, that they would add in kind of comedic lines that I obviously landed because they kept putting more and more and more. And so, and actually, someone did a little video of the Lilah stuff, and a fan responded, I didn't remember that Lilah came back as a stand-up comic. And I was like, now you remember biatch?
Yeah.
That's what hell does to a lady.
Oh my gosh, can I steal that line? That's so fantastic. I love that. But yes, Ian, back to what you said, that is, all right, and Jamie, you can rewatch it and see now that you know me.
Now that we're best friends forever.
Now that we're best friends forever. But yes. And I remember even reading it like, this is fantastic. Like, I get to be funny. And with everything that's already loaded into Lilah, and with the history of Lilah and the history of the fans with Lilah, it was nice. Because also, if you've already been killed and you go to hell and you get to come back, like, of course, you're going to be like, woo!
Yeah.
You guys ready? So I thought that was kind of genius of the writers and stuff. And also, my best comedic lines were always written on episodes that Mare wrote on as well. So I think she was a huge proponent of some of my best dialogue.
I remember you saying that the first time I had you on. I remember you talking about how you always loved when she wrote Lilah.
Because she made her more funny. Like, ironic.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's still like Lilah has funny moments, and for me that still feels very Stephanie, true to you. But here it's like she is nonstop jabs, good puns, And like, so, I mean, I've said this to you before, but very, very Catwoman-esque, where it's like, you're kind of on the prowl, you look hot, and you're just kind of like bantering. You don't really care what's going on. Like,
because my seal or my fate is sealed,
Yeah,
right? And so I
yeah.
thought about it when I was watching it again, and then remembering the fun that I had with all of these lines. And even I was looking at the way I was walking and stuff, totally like, I've been in hell. Girlfriends, like, back on the earth. Love me, don't love me. I don't care. Take the deal, don't take the deal. I don't care.
Just getting a break. I love the delivery of like kind of some ice water. I really appreciate that. Yeah.
Can I just have a little ice water or not? Notice you didn't wait for it.
You're doing this. We talk about your great lines, but your outfits in this episode are just, it's like iconic. When I think of Lilah, I specifically think of the clothes worn in this episode. So I have to ask about those tops, the scarf shirt combos. Did they inform this performance? Do you remember like trying those on? Because I love them.
You know, I feel like you, there are two of the iconic tops. And the purple one, or the chartreuse, or whatever you call it, one, I had forever. And because my husband and my daughter were bullying me to calm down my closet, I only got rid of it a couple years ago. And I so regret it. I had it forever in the white one. But yeah, those suited me really well. And I agree with you. I don't think that it informed. I mean, it did make, because normally they would put kind of suits and dresses that were a little bit too big on me. So I always looked bigger on TV than I actually was. I remember after the series ended, or one of the seasons, and I went to see my agent, and I'd gained like 5 pounds. I'm like, oh, I've gained weight. He's like, you look so skinny. I was like, I've gained weight, motherfucker. But so they always kind of had me in things that were a little bit big on me. So this episode, it fit my body. And so thank you for noticing.
Oh, I that's interesting. I guess like a lawyer's got to, you know,
the suits, all that. And if I would have been more on top of it, that I would have said, oh, you need to take it in here, because I'm very broad shoulders. I have, like, when I was modeling and I would do runway, my shoulders are someone who's like 6 foot tall, and I'm 5'9.5". So I'm very broad that way. And then I'm narrow hip, narrow. So if you get something that fits my shoulders, comes down square. And same with, I've always had smallish hips, but so nothing ever fit me right. So I always looked much bigger on TV. And that's the one episode where because that, at least if it's form fitting.
Yeah.
Rather than if I just.
Ooh, I like these pants. I like whatever's
how
on.
cute are they?
Those are so cute.
I love these. They've got umbrellas and swimsuits and. Anyhow, but you're right. That's kind of something that kind of fit my body the most, and also it moved with me, which is nice, and it showed off the best parts.
And you really liked that purple outfit, right? Isn't that one of your favorites?
I loved that dress. I mean, that top, and then I loved with both of them the thing covering the neck, and even when I'm pulling down in the white one, it's like I didn't feel a thing. He's like, I doubt you ever did, or whatever he said. But so yes, like back to Jamie's question about did it influence, like just having the scarves and stuff and knowing the backstory, it was fun to play with. Plus they looked really cute.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that, like, in general, I mean, I'm not an actor, you're an actual actor. I feel like if you feel hot and you like what you're wearing, it almost like enhances your confidence,
for sure.
right?
For sure. Don't you? Like when you're wearing something that you love or feel really good in?
I've had on the 2 of the Buffy costume designers, and they've talked about that, how like if the actor didn't like the outfit, they kind of wouldn't be as excited for their scene. But if they really liked what they were wearing, it would like kind of invigorate them a little bit more, which I get.
No, that makes sense. I don't think they ever spent that much time with me because I did not love a lot of the stuff I had to wear. Like, this should be shorter, this should be tighter, but I didn't have it. Also, to be fair, that was my fault. I should have been more vocal.
I do,
but
think
I always feel hot, regardless.
Well,
you could be in a trash
like
bag.
when you're in character, and this is who it is. Because also, if you think like sometimes even not loving the outfit would work for Lilah because she's not loving the circumstance. She's not loving. So sometimes when they felt a little big on me and all that, it kind of was like me battling the powers that be, or there's a better word. I just can't think of it.
No, and Lilah had to deal with a lot of stupid men. So
I feel like so many of us
all the time.
Well, not all of them were stupid.
True. Wolfram and Hart, some of them were pretty smart. I guess
Yeah.
she had to deal with men underestimating her a lot.
Oh, always. Like,
Yeah.
always. Like,
was
not
like the thing.
ever, Jamie, right?
Yeah.
So not ever once, or can you think of it, Ian? Can you think of one time where someone in a position of power or something with Lilah, not me, that they like didn't underestimate her?
Yeah, no, I think
Not
maybe
one time.
Angel might have been the only one who actually kind of got. He didn't like her, but I think he knew how smart she was.
You know what? I think you're right. And we actually had some really great scenes. Like I remember, and now that you say that, you're right, actually. I mean, we were on a bridge and I was like, oh, do you know me? Like, I don't do errands unless they're evil errands.
Yes.
And that was with Angel. So I think, you know what? You're right.
Yeah,
I do say, I feel like this is a good segue into talking about Lilah and Wesley, because I really, really love that dynamic. And Ian and I have already talked about this episode a bit without you. And a lot of what we talked about is the final scene that Lilah and Wesley have together, which is just I think, a great ending. And I think that Wesley is someone who understood Lilah. It was not, and
begrudgingly, and unexpectedly and insidiously.
Were you at the time? Were you shipping it? Did it make sense to you? Because I think it's sexy.
You know, it's a great question. I mean, both Alexis and the producers knew about this storyline long before I did. So when it came to me, I was like, oh, didn't see this one coming. But I think that Alexis and I had a great chemistry, and it was an interesting for me to explore Lilah away from Wolfram and Hart, because pretty much everything else had been Lilah at Wolfram and Hart. So this was the first time you got to see kind of Lilah a little vulnerable, or a little like, even she thinks she's doing something, but he got her somehow. And I liked that.
This is just, speaking of costumes, I'm just remembering this, like the schoolgirl costume. That's like
I was thinking of it too. You know what, that was meant to be Fred.
More time.
It was meant to be Fred.
Yeah.
But yeah, it totally looked Britney. So a fan recently pointed, I thought that was Britney Spears. I looked at it like, it totally looks like Britney.
It does.
Older Britney Spears. But totally from that era. But I think they were trying to get the vulnerability of Fred and the youthfulness of, even though we're only a couple years difference. But she's very bright-eyed. Her character, very bright-eyed in this, and Lilah is not.
Yeah. Did you like
put the glasses back on?
Did you like Lilah and Wesley's last scene? Like, I mean, it's terrible that they didn't bring you back, but I think for that couple, I like it as like closure between.
Are you talking about the burning the?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Can't you see it? Like, I was literally touched. Like, literally, I remember like, wow, I'm getting all welled up, because I think it was wonderful that he tried.
Yeah.
Like, and it's right. I definitely felt it as Lilah, and I felt it as Stephanie. And it was a beautiful moment. And it was beautiful after all those years and different things going on. And for Wesley and Lilah to have that moment, for Alexis and I to have that moment, it was a beautifully written scene that we got to perform together. And I mean, I was definitely touched.
Because
on both sides.
Yes, I believe when Lilah says that, when she's like, but I appreciate you trying. Like, for me, I'm like, that is the most sentimental Lilah is willing to be. And
yes. And so for me, that was huge for Lilah. Like, that was like huge, but she was like,
and still not like,
if
too
I'm going to go to hell, I get this. I got
Yeah.
a man who tried to burn my contract.
Yeah.
Something to hold on to.
Or not. I don't know.
I want to ask about the set specifically in this episode. And I know that you were like there for maybe less than a week once many years ago, so you might not remember this, but it's weird because they didn't use it again. The actual set in season 5 is completely different. And I always wonder, like, it looks like a real office building. It doesn't look like a set. Like, I'm so curious about what was going on in that building and why they didn't use. I mean, I'm sure you don't know why they didn't use it again.
I have an idea.
Okay, tell me more.
I do remember, I mean, it was a beautiful building, and that was a real building, as far as I can remember. Hold on, I'm just trying to say. But the reason that they probably couldn't use it again, it would be very expensive to use that. So what they're doing is they're setting up the shot so that your mind brings you back to that building. as they do it in the sets. But we were at a beautiful building like that. And I didn't know they didn't use it again because I didn't watch when I died.
That was like, I was going to ask you that. I was going to ask because like, it's a shame because it's a good season, but it could have used some
I'm not
Lilah.
saying I never ever. Oh my gosh. Have you seen Princess and the Frog? It's my favorite Disney movie. My very
I love that.
because it's got music, food. It's in New Orleans. Come on. So they're at the dance, and the blonde-haired best friend who's got the rich daddy. This boy keeps asking her to dance, and she's saying, maybe later, maybe later. And he's like, are you going to dance with me? She's like, honey, when a girl says later, what she means is never, ever.
Cute.
So I
Have you been
reference
on a
that a
ride?
lot and stuff, and nobody knows what I'm talking about. So just in case I ever say never, ever, that's what I'm thinking about.
Now we know.
Stephanie, do you have, I don't know if I've asked you this before, but do you have like a favorite Lilah episode of the show, or even just like scene that you're like always sticks out to you?
It's hard to, I mean, I have to say the last season was one of my favorites of playing Lilah, although I really enjoyed the fun banter between Christian and I in the early Lilah stuff. Like that was kind of fun back and forth. And then I had a lot of fun even with Gavin. It was kind of nice. But I mean, for sure, as an actor, the last season was the most fulfilling.
That's true,
You know, and I think maybe what was unexpected for me as an actor and as Lilah were those very kind of vulnerable moments that came through. I didn't know they were going to happen. It would just have like, oh, I didn't even know she was feeling that way. Like, it's like you get so into it that it just, so there was a lot of organic things I feel in the last season that Lilah was in that was really unexpected and fun to experience while you're playing her. You know what I mean?
I could see that totally, because I feel like Lilah versus the Beast is the most action you got to do.
I love that. I have to say, I love doing those. It's when you were saying that, it's like I freaking love the episode with the Beast, and that's where I did a lot of the stunts, like where I'm going off of the desk and all that. Like that was me. That was
That's
me.
cool.
And then I even liked being, which is unlike Lilah. I liked being underground, hair messy, no makeup on, brown shirt, stabbed in the stomach. I thought she looked sexiest.
Been through
That's
it.
fair. That's fair.
Girl, been through it. But that was fun too in the running. And then even the unexpected intimacy between Wesley and Lilah that showed up towards when she was dying or about to die or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's when they were the most truthful. And I was trying to find the one where he chops off my head, because I loved doing that scene because I felt like I was his conscience. So every time Lilah came in,
I was going to ask you about
she's
that.
saying what So I remember really enjoying, because I love psychology and all that. So I really enjoyed playing that and being, his subconscious advocate.
Yeah.
Or irritant. I'm not sure if advocate, irritant, something like that.
A little of both.
Yeah, right.
I can even remember watching it, like when I was younger, watching it live, and like I
Younger
would always
than you are now.
I know, because I'm 21 now.
No, already? Where does the time go?
I can remember even being bummed. Like I would go back and forth with Lilah, whether I love to hate her, even if you hate her.
Exactly, it's the thing. That's what I was hoping to achieve. So I'm glad.
Oh, you absolutely did. But I remember being so bummed that Lilah got killed. Like I was like hoping, in my brain, I thought we were going to the way of like Lilah's going to join the group begrudgingly.
I mean,
but she's going to join the group.
Wouldn't have that been fun? I think they missed out.
And the
fans do too. I have a lot of people say that, and like no shade on the actress who had to come in after 4 years of an established character, having nothing to do with me or Lilah, but still like setting it up like this and giving them this huge firm and this kind of real power play, and then take the most powerful playing person out of Wolfram and Hart. Like, I just thought that was an odd choice.
That's literally what I said when we discussed this episode. I was like, that part should have been your part, but
really.
But it was odd, right? So it's finally set up for Lilah to take it, like finally after all these years, and guess who's not there?
And what's weirder is they make jokes about it in the season. Like someone.
Oh, they do?
Charisma, when Cordelia comes back, she's like, what are you, Lilah Jr.? Like, they make jokes that she's not as good as Lilah in the season.
Oh, that makes me feel bad, actually. I feel bad for the actress because it's also not fair to her, right? You've set her up for comparisons that isn't fair. It was 4 years of me building this character and building the fan base, and for them to like or dislike me or hate me or love to hate me or whatever. And then you just throw someone else in there. I think it was a little bit mean of them.
It's not like she's a bad actor. It's just like we had feelings for you.
Complicated
exactly,
feelings.
and I appreciate that. I mean, especially the past tense part.
Yeah.
Well, after today, I have a new batch of feelings. It's changed.
Oh, good. You know, you got to kind of feed the yeast.
To recap, we're going to Rocky Horror. We're going to Disneyland.
I am so doing it with you, Jamie. I'm telling you, and we're going to live stream it too.
I'm going to
go and see how we do. I got to learn all the words again to Rocky Horror Picture Show. I used to know them all.
They've changed some of the shout out things. I went once, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 years ago, and it was like different. And I made
good. So it doesn't matter that I forgot. Yeah, we can just relearn it.
Exactly.
Okay. Where do you live?
I live in the Valley. I'm in
in the Valley. Oh, perfect. So I'm not too far from you. So we can find somewhere near us. I mean, I'm sure that there are places near us, right? There's a few places.
I've looked it up. They're absolutely
okay. I'm serious though. I'll do it.
Girl, you don't gotta twist my arm. Let's go.
No stunned person needed.
I'm already feeling the FOMO. What the hell?
Yeah. I know, right? That means it's gonna happen.
Ian,
you are invited as well, Ian.
Thanks. Yeah, Stephanie, thank you for giving us your time. I really appreciate this. I always love chatting with you. I mean, we chat anyway off the podcast, but
I love chatting with you and Jamie. It's been such a pleasure talking to you as well. And I hope in between, because Ian and I have just such this amazing chemistry and symbiotic kind of stuff, that I hope you actually got to ask the questions you wanted to ask.
Oh, I think I nailed it. Truly.
Awesome.
And the fact that you didn't know means that we weren't like, let's read the list. I think together we crushed this. And honestly, like when Ian asked me to do Home, I was like, is Stephanie gonna do it? Like you can't do it. I feel like you can't do Home without you. So
no. There was one thing I wanted to say about this episode. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, that was it.
Okay, perfect. We nailed it, which I like. But one of the things in this episode, specifically for Lilah, coming back from hell and introducing Wolfram and Hart, I felt like she was on The Price is Right. And here is your. And so if you notice, I do that with the guns and stuff, because I'm totally bringing it like I'm one of the girls on The Price is Right. And you can have this if the price is right. But you see that in her. She's doing a little bit of that, and then she's just having fun with it because she's happy to be on Earth again, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just wanted to say that.
No, I love it.
I feel like Lilah's often like a cat, where like she'll have fun with she doesn't really care. Like she'll have fun with it. And it's like, all right, I'm going to bat this
I
around
love
a
that you
little
say that, because if you notice my body movements in that episode, I'm moving a lot like a cat in that one. But
yeah.
So I like that you picked up on that thing. Because, I'm working alone then. No one in my family's watching it. None of my friends are watching it. So I have my agenda, what I want to do, what my goals are. And so hearing from you, Ian, and you, Jamie, and the fans that they got it. It worked. It landed. Like that means a lot to me. So thank you.
Yeah. I mean, you've done cons now, so you now see that I was not bullshitting you when I said people love Lilah.
I was like, oh, he's right. And it's been wonderful, and thank you.
And let everyone know where they can find you online on Instagram.
You can find me at Romanov Stephanie on Instagram.
Thank you so much. We will talk to you later, Stephanie.
And see you in June 13th and 14th at the Hellmouth Con in Anaheim at Sunnydale High. Come see me. And Ian is going to be, you're going to be doing a panel, right?
And hopefully, it'll be our first time meeting in person, Stephanie.
Oh, that's so weird. I feel like I've met you in person.
Yeah.
Right? Wow. That's like... Spiritually,
nice.
I'm with you all.
I know, right? Yeah.
But that's why I'm excited. I'm really excited.
All right. Well, now that we are at the end, favorite outfit, I feel like we all might have the same. I'll go first because Lilah in that purple number her hair looked great. that thing, whatever. What kind of, does that like have a name, Jamie? That type of top? I don't even know what you would call that.
Okay, I've always thought this because this was my answer too. Both of her outfits, I love that. I don't know if the scarf part is attached to the shirt or not, and like I've always trying to find it out. Like I'm always like looking like, is it a separate piece? And I for both of them, I think it's so cute. But I no, I don't. I'm pretty sure I'm not the most qualified fashionista on this panel today. So
Fair. Xana just walked in to help her dog, but I'm going to ask her what she does, man.
Yeah.
So the scarf is built into the shirt.
Okay, I thought so. Okay, thank you.
It's technically like a cowl neck, so it's a pussy bow that she's just not, it's not tied. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think it was just like, obviously I think we all agree that the fashion department and the wardrobe department on these shows were immaculate, and they're just like any weird like, oh yeah, this character had their head cut off. She's like, I have the perfect blouse for that. Like truly, like that was the case. So yeah, and I agree that was my favorite outfit.
All right.
Hands down.
Alistair?
Also mine, yes.
Yeah. Favorite scene? I'm gonna go first because I cheated on this one. I would give myself a low grade for this answer. I am sorry. I just put every scene with Lilah because I thought she was great in this episode. And like I'm bummed that we don't get to see her again, but I think she does a lot with a little here, and it's a good, if it has to be our final viewing of her, like that scene with her and Wesley really is a really good wrap up end scene to like that. Alistair?
I was gonna say Lila's first scene at the beginning of the episode, but I agree. The Lilah, I think I'm going to actually do the Lilah and West scene.
Okay, all right. Jamie?
I think the Lilah and West scene is like the real answer, but just for the sake of like mixing things up, I also really like the limo scene. I like the way that you each see each character, and it's really just showing the team in a classic way. And then the button of Lauren already being in the limo is really funny.
Yeah, Xana.
I would have to say when someone like off screen blows up when Connor has everyone held hostage in the terrorist situation, but it's never mentioned that he just probably blew somebody up because the explosion was so like minimal that we're like, there's no way that you had the science behind you to back a small minimal explosion just to blow up one person. So love that. Thought that was very funny, unintentionally.
Well, he messed up his first hostage situation and had to like redo it.
Right.
He's like, oops.
Right. What grade do we give this episode? Xana, I'm calling you first.
It's not up there for me. I'm so sorry. There's been some redeemable episodes on this program, but this one wasn't it for me. So I'll give it a C.
That's fair. That's fair. Alistair?
Also, since I don't think of it as a finale, if this was what I felt like it was a finale, then I'd probably give it a lower grade. But as a setup, I give it an A.
All right. That's fair. Jamie?
Yeah, it sucks because like we know that they can do a bonus finale, like that's what Restless is, right?
Yeah.
Like Restless is its own cool finale thing, and
that's one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah, exactly. But because I know it's building up towards my favorite thing, I'm gonna give it a B minus.
All right. I give it a C plus because same. If like as an episode on its own, but I do think it does a good job of setting it up without really. Doesn't really show us that much other than very basic, like Fred Smart, gun, something new, Wesley books, Angel in charge. Like that's kind of it, but I think it's a good setup.
Did they know that they were getting like canceled at this point?
No, because
it was a.
Jamie, go ahead.
I was going to say they thought pretty deep into season 5 they were getting another season, but then there was like a dispute about money, I believe, about budget, and Joss kind of leveraged it and like kind of gave an ultimatum thinking he'd win, and he lost. And they're like, okay, we're going to cancel it. But one of my biggest pet peeves is when people say that the season 5 ending was not meant to be a series finale, because it was. It was written as the series finale, and it really bothers me when people like, shows it ended on a cliffhanger, and it's like, yes, but it was that. It was always supposed to end that way. And
Jamie, wasn't it that like it's like they found out, but they had like the last 3 episodes to write?
Yeah,
that's why
they had a little chunk. Yeah. But at this point, I believe they knew they were coming back.
It's people do that with season 5 of Buffy and like, oh, it was canceled. I'm like, no, it was not canceled. Like Drew
They had it
Greenberg's
pre-done from 4, did they not?
Yeah.
They had 4 to 3 pretty much already planned out.
and Drew
Or sorry, 4 to
Greenberg
7.
Drew Greenberg has said that like his interview for Buffy was the day after The Gift aired. Like his interview to work on Buffy. And so like no, they weren't. It was just a budget thing.
Both The Gift and the season 5 finale of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. were both filmed as a potential series finale just in case. But then when they aired, it was picked up.
So yeah, thank you all for joining me. Thank you all for sticking with us for Angel season 4 because oh boy, listening to me complain a lot. If you liked Slayerfest 98, you can find us on all podcasting platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else you get your podcasts. You can watch all our episodes because we are video recording, see our pretty faces and Xana's adorable dog over on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, give us a good rating, etc. If you want to support us, we're on Patreon. We're going through every episode of Buffy season 5. Every episode of Buffy as it turns 25. We are currently closing out season 5, which I'm excited about. I got some good guests lined up. Any and all support is much appreciated. We do hangouts. We just did a watch along of Buffy season 2's Only Have Eyes for You. We also are covering X-Men the animated series and Batman the animated series. And if you want to follow me, I am at Ian X Carlos on all social media platforms. And if you want to follow Slayerfest at SlayerFestX98, forgot to say that. Jamie, where can everyone find you on your podcast?
Oh, if you want to find me, I'm at Jamie Jirak on Instagram and Letterboxd. And then my podcast is Love in the Time of Hydra at Lidopod, where we go through every Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode on their 10th anniversary. And we've got lots of cool people from the show that have been on the podcast. So check it out. We're currently wrapping up season 3. And then my other podcast is Phase Hero, where we talk about mostly Marvel and DC news, but other like big pop culture, entertainment, franchisey type news we touch on as well. And right now we're going through just the new Daredevils as they air.
Nice. Are you covering episode by episode?
Yeah, each one. Our episodes are Wednesdays anyway, so we just talk about it during our regular episode. If you are fans of great t-shirts, go on my Instagram, my link in my bio for TeePublic. I have a partnership with them, and like I'm obsessed with them. It's nice to be a partner with a site I actually use. So go buy some t-shirts through my link in my bio.
And Alastair, where can everyone find you?
You can find me at Alastair J. Patton on all socials. I'm also on my on my husband's YouTube channel, AZB, and I also do the book club for his Patreon, AZB Plus. We're covering Bastion the month of April, and actually we're covering Down the Drain next month by Julia Fox.
When's the one I'm coming on for?
That should be June.
Okay, all right.
You're coming on for Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Tinneman.
Yeah. Every time I see something about that, I think of you, and my ex-boyfriend texts me to be like, you would love this series. And I was like, I'm actually doing that for my friend's book club. So I was like,
I think you're either going to love it or really, really hate it. So no in between.
Alice and I did a book club during lockdown, and I love Alastair. You're the sweetest human, but we have such different tastes in books.
Yeah.
That
maybe both liked one or two books that we were both like, oh yeah, that was good.
The one we liked is becoming a movie.
It.
The one we both liked is becoming a movie with the gay guys in space.
Oh yeah.
Star Wars?
The Darkness Outside Us.
Yes, I always forget what it's called. The title doesn't quite go with the plot, but it doesn't matter. It's a really good book. Xana, where can everyone find you?
You can find me at Xana's Revenge on Instagram. And I think for all the Americans, if you subscribe to WoW Presents Plus, which I think stands for World of Wolfram and Heart Plus, you can find me on the gay programs that I've done there. It's Drag Race, but Canadian, so no one cares. But yeah.
All right, everybody. We will see you next time. There will not be as much of a wait between seasons 4 and 5, but 5, who knows when it'll start? Maybe 2 months, maybe something like that. But we'll see you then. Bye.